Hi, welcome back. My name's Jamie. I'm the founder of Journey Life Now. This reading is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of October 2025. Okay? So Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the month of October 2025. Okay, here we go. Before I get into the cards, I want to discuss a few things, okay? There's a full moon happening on October 6th in your 6th house in Aries, right? That has to do with the new moon that happened in March of this year in Aries, the solar eclipse. And that had to do, again, with the 6th house. It has to do with how you serve, right? How do you serve yourself, number one, right? How do you organize your life to be more efficient and functional, right? Your work habits, your physical health routines, gym, running, walking, meal prepping, and also how you serve others, okay? Your actual day job and how you help others in tangible ways. That's the 6th house, right? And during that time, wanting to start something new, you planted a seed. And then around June, right, Cancer season, you started to ask yourself, right, why you're here. Your father. Travel, foreign travel. So you may have had some type of emotional tension or some type of choice that had to be made during that time, having to do or affected what it is that you started in March. Okay? So pay attention to that. Because now, here we are. October. And it's the full moon. And now the lights has been turned on in that part of your life, right? The flashlight is on, beaming, and there's a brightness. You're able to see now everything that you have worked on the past 6 months in regards to that area of your life, okay? What came of it, the efforts that you put in, whether good or bad, they're there. And during this time, it's asking you to anything that you worked on, you discovered. So let's say that you knew you wanted to start meal prepping, right? And meal prepping that you started just didn't work for you, right? Because maybe by the 4th day you were tired of eating whatever it is that you prepped. So now you have the opportunity to see, okay, so maybe it wasn't meal prepping that was the issue. It was how I meal prepped. So now maybe you can decide, instead of one meal, I'm going to make 2 smaller ones and alternate. Things like that, right? Really, so it doesn't no longer suits. Revamp, right? What is working, but maybe sharpen it a little bit. But during this time, you're able to see that clearly, okay? During that time as well, Mercury enters Scorpio in your 1st house, okay? Your 1st house of identity, how you see yourself, how others see you. It has to do with your physical body. It has to do with your instinctive behaviors, right? Like how you react, respond, right? Your personality, your general approach to life, right? So Mercury enters there. So what does that mean? That means, communicating more with people, more with yourself, having ideas. It sounds crazy, but you might start talking to yourself more because you're looking in the mirror and you're trying to decide, do I like the way that I respond to things? Do I like the way that I react to things? Right? Just looking at yourself, taking an analytical approach, right, to what you see, because you're going to decide how you're going to move forward. Okay? Then October 21st, there is a new moon in Libra in your 12th house. Okay. During that time, you're going to want to plant some seeds. And these seeds have to do with what you want to release, okay, in the next 6 months. You know, your dreams. Are you having unhealthy dreams, right? How can you improve your dreams? Maybe by sleeping better, going to sleep, not eating after a certain time, watching and paying attention to what it is that you're scrolling, watching, reading before you fall asleep. Maybe you want to communicate with your ancestors, right? You want to find some answers in dreams. So studying, understanding what it is that you have to do in order to find that, okay? Repressed memories, right? You know there's something wrong. You know, because you get irritated for what you would think is no reason. You wake up annoyed. You're sad. You can't understand why, right? There's a reason, and it's usually something repressed. So you wanting to go and start some shadow work, right? Some therapy. Go to a retreat. Seek alternative methods of therapy in order to help you work through your issues, understand where these feelings are coming from, okay? Solitude, right? Knowing that you need to take a step back again, maybe to rest, to go on a retreat, right? And all this is to help you understand yourself better, right? It has to do with your spirituality. Understand that you already know you've gone through some shit, right? You've gone through some pain. You've gone through some trauma. You're aware of that. What you're not aware of is how you're carrying it, okay? And understanding that. Understanding how spirituality plays a role. What does spirituality even mean to you? Okay? So there's that. There's hidden topics that you're going to address, right? Self-sabotaging behaviors, mental health, right? I say hidden because no one can see inside your head, just you. Okay? Now, some people from the outside in your behaviors may have a clue on kind of what's happening in your head, but you're the only one that truly knows, right? So starting to like want to work those things out. That's the new moon, okay? Then, just a little in January, Capricorn season. Last quarter moon for the new moon that happened in March, right? Full moon that happens on October 6th. There's like the ending of that cycle, right? And that happens in Capricorn in your 3rd house, right? It has to do with like understanding that what and how you think has a huge impact on your subconscious, right? Okay. And with your new moon happening that's happening in Libra, right? And then also knowing or coming up with some type of or understanding some type of mental skill that then improves your physical routines, okay? So something you learn in the 3rd house helps you with something in the 6th house. The ending of that, okay? Again, but in order for you to realize that the 3rd house impacts the 12th house, and it's like, okay, so what? Okay, your subconscious is impacted by the way that you think, right? Your thought process. So you might run into maybe some tension or some choice that has to be made with like siblings and cousins and neighbors and the internet, like something to do with that happens that then kind of it's linked to your subconscious, right? To your self-sabotaging behaviors, you know, maybe the way that you speak to yourself. So all that is linked, and that happens like in January, okay? And then I'll go into it further. Like, and again, these cycles end, but they're minor, right? So they keep coming. They keep coming. Year after year, you work on something different. Okay? Now let's do the cards. Yes, Scorpio. Yes, yes, yes. If you're Scorpio rising, you do have there's this profound change, understanding of where you came from, your ancestors, right? So that plays a huge role. Like, so no matter what I talk about, like moving forward for the next 20 years, that in itself is always going to be a major component of everything, because it's your foundation, it's your security, it's how you feel nurtured, right? So it all comes down to that and transforming that. It also has to do with breaking karmic cycles, right? Ancestral karmic cycles. It's a lot of responsibility, right? Okay, so this month, big yes. If there's a wish, something that you want so bad, the answer is yes, 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 yes. Your wish comes true. Thank you very much. Okay, some of you are wishing for your soulmate, for your partner, for that thing. So, there's a decision, right? There's someone that emotionally fulfills you, and there's someone that physically fulfills you. And having to choose between emotions and physical, that's huge. That's huge. That's humongous. That's the storyline for some. For others of you, it has to do with not being emotionally grounded completely at this moment. Okay? So you want this relationship, right? You want this relationship, but there's some emotional baggage that you have to take care of, right? Because that's standing in the way. That's standing in the way of you having them physically come into your life, right? It's almost like take care of that, and then that person comes as a result of. Okay? Your relationship with angels. That's huge, right? Because, like, as you're praying to God, to the angels, right? That person's here. So, to me, that tells me sometimes, like, there's a major decision that you want to make or that you have to make, and you may not realize it just yet, but it is, because you guys want two completely different things. Right? You're here, they're there. You want more of an emotional connection. They want more of a physical connection. Right? So there's that. You're coming from a time where you've put a lot of effort, a lot of time, right, into something. Relationship, job, home, children, right? Lots of hard work, lots of hard work, lots of hard work. And no reward. Or not what you expected. You expected more, right? And that's not what you got. Okay? In the middle of the month, or, just a theme that's coming up is there's this event that happens, right? That may have to do with an argument. There's an argument, and there's the way that you guys speak to each other. Either you speak to them or they speak to you. It's bad. And you leave the person to feel belittled. They walk away defeated. Right? And not in a good way. I don't know who walks away feeling defeated in a good way, but just know that that's not good, right? It also may have to do with, because there's a decision that you have to make and you truly don't know how to logically make it. It's difficult, right? It's difficult for you. You get stressed out and then you lash, right? When it has nothing to do with that person. Right? So just like feeling overwhelmed because it's decisions that you know that are big, that are major, life altering decisions, right? And you're aware of that. You're completely aware of that. But just keep that in mind, okay? You're asking, you're praying for the strength, right? Like that's what you want, the strength to get you through. You keep praying and asking for it. But what you don't realize is that you already have it. And you're wasting energy and time by asking for something you already possess. Okay? What your job is to realize it. Okay? Know that between your emotional body and your physical body, you can control your mind. No one has control over that. Only you do. That is where the power lies. That is where the courage lies. Okay, that is where the strength lies. In the realization that you control your thoughts, right? Your body, your emotions, your body, right? On a very big scale. You already possess that. Okay? At the end of the month, there's a passion. There's something you wanted to start, that you've wanted to start for a while, and you do. You take the very first steps towards it. So let's say that some of you have always wanted to start a business. Then all of a sudden you take the steps to start a business. Let's say some of you have wanted to do foreign travel, right? To some exotic place. Then all of a sudden you actually start making the plans to do it. Some of you will go to Egypt, to go see the pyramids, or pyramids anywhere, right? There's something that you've wanted to do, and you actually take some actions towards it this month, which is very cool. It's very, very cool. Okay? Let's see. All right. For some of you, There's an increase at work, money. There's you're recognized and you're given a raise. You're recognized and you're given a bonus. For some of you, if it's not work related, it's saying to be careful around a gift that's given to you as far as money. So if there's someone that it's too good to be true, look into it, because it probably is, right? Because there's sneakiness involved. So it's just telling you like to be careful as far as that, okay? Yeah, there's changes though. There's definitely changes. But change is what you need to move forward. Right? It's like, you know, just being careful about the role that the warrior plays when you speak, right? That tough aggression, like cut you. Don't do that. Right? Angel of Miracles. Open your heart and expect the miracle. Okay? Thank you so much. Please subscribe, like, comment. I will get back to you. Okay? Love you guys.